So I took Kona out to the dog park just so she can socialize with other dogs because this is the most important stage in a dog's life. Man, look at that adorable face.
Kona, you are so cute. Alright, bye guys.
Our home was about 80 miles away, so Kona and I decided to take a quick jog and enjoy the view.
What?
I told her not to go down the rocks, but she told me that she wanted to see something really quick. And then she started telling me like, yo, there's something underneath these rocks. I was asking her, is it Mr. Krabs? She was like, nah, man, it's something else. Keep looking.
Oh shit.
She was sniffing at this rock really hard, so she told me to look underneath here. Excuse me, baby. I don't want the rock to hurt you. I've never seen a pair of shoes that look like this before, so I'm just going to take them home and see what I can do with them. I wonder how long these shoes have been under here. Crazy. And thank goodness I have a GoPro on my head. Otherwise, you guys would have thought I would have planted these shoes for content or something. Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Use Manalo, and today we're going to be restoring a pair of Duckman 4's. So the big giveaway that these are Duckman 4's is that they have a big fat O on the tongue. And yeah, that is Graham Stephan in the background while I'm fixing up these shoes. And do you guys hear chirping? What? I think there's a baby duck inside of the shoes. This is probably the ugliest duck I've ever seen. No pun intended. It doesn't even look like one. Dude, there's two of them? What in the world? What are the odds that there's baby ducks inside of the shoe and the shoes are Duckman 4's? What? I actually found an article online that has a step-by-step guide on how to raise these little guys. Oh damn, I'm pretty juiced. I can't wait till they grow up. This is really strange because they don't even have mud on the feathers. Alright, Duck Jr. and Chick Jr., let me just put you guys down and roam around while I fix your home. Alright, you guys, I'm going to be using Rejuvenated to remove all of the dirt on the uppers. So I'm going to be using a 50-50% ratio, 50% cleaner and 50% water. So once the mud is 100% gone, I'm just going to be using 100% of the Rejuvenated cleaner to scrub the leather upper away. And so my dog is still teething, so she caught this while it fell on the floor and I didn't notice, so that's why it looks like that. So I'm going to start off with the soft bristled brush first and then move my way up to the medium bristled brush just so I can loosen up the dirt. And I took out the laces just so the cleaning will be a whole lot easier. For the interior, I'm also using a 50% mix on the fabric. Man, this shoe is just full of separations and scuffs. After removing all the dirt, I can see all of the damages that's on the shoes. These shoes are so rare, you can't even find them on StockX, Go, eBay, anywhere to be honest. And they're going for about $10,000. So these are actual bids, someone is willing to pay for them. It's totally different from the asking price. Anybody can put $1 million for the asking price, but no one will buy that obviously. Man, these guys have insane scuffs all over the shoes. So what I'm doing right here is I'm removing the toe cap stitching because I'm going to separate the whole upper. I plan on removing the whole upper and then doing a full re-glue just to make sure there won't be any separations. So these shoes are from 2012 and I just poured in hot water just to make it easier for me to separate. So the hot water technique only works if the shoe is considerably old. It won't work on brand new shoes because the glue is too fresh. So what I have right here is that Black Rock leather conditioner and softener. This works wonders. I highly recommend getting this leather softener and conditioner because it really does work. I've tried Lexol, I've tried Angelus mink oil. They don't work as great as this one. I would only use Angelus mink oil on suede for the spray version. So I'm actually gonna start color matching the midsole. There's so many shades of green because of how beat they are. Some shades are lighter, some shades are darker. So I'm gonna find the best shade I think will look good on the shoe and start mixing and match it. By the way, this video is not sponsored by Mango Cart. I'm just sipping all those. It's fine to drink some soft ass beers from time to time. Nothing wrong with that. So I'm trying to bring back the Jumpman on the insole. So I have a brand new pair of insoles that have been worn maybe a few times that still has a Jumpman intact, and I'm just trying to measure it to factory spec. It's about 1.75 inches, and that's what I'm gonna put on the computer. Since the Jumpman on the Duckman 4's is yellow, I'm gonna put a yellow heat transfer vinyl on the Cricut cutter and then trace it out to make brand new insoles. So when I started peeling off the plastic, I realized I did it the wrong way. The shiny part should have been facing down, but at least we got the right size. And also I messed up. I did it the second time and I didn't put the mirror option, so it looked dumb. So to apply this, all I gotta do is just use an iron and it will be good as new. So I do want to place it at the exact same spot as a factory. So I'm just measuring Jordan's crotch from the bottom of the insole and see how far it is, and that's what I'm doing. So now that I got my paint match down, I'm just gonna remove all of the factory paint by using cotton balls and acetone. You want to be careful and not put too much acetone on the cotton ball because too much acetone will be absorbed in the foam and too much friction will cause damage on the midsole that's irreparable. I will be using Bulldog adhesion promoter to strengthen the midsole repaint, and I will be using an airbrush to repaint the midsoles. This will give you the best possible factory look opposed to hand painting. Originally, these midsoles have speckles, so to add the speckles, I will be using a toothbrush and just black paint. Honestly, to get better at this, all you gotta do is just keep practicing. It's all in the finger, so just keep flicking the finger. There's a certain way to do it. I can't explain it, but your girl would thank you. So here you go, perfect speckling all around and perfectly applied on the midsole. So the next step is to remove all of the factory glue, and I'm going to be using a Dremel tool just to make it easier for me. You don't have to. It'll roughen up the leather, which will make our adhesive adhere better, but it'll also lessen the amount of cotton balls and acetone that we will use. So to protect the midsole paint, I will be using Liquitex matte varnish. This will make it scratch resistant. I've also added a little bit of high gloss because it has like a matte glossy look to it from the factory. To bond the uppers back to the midsole, I will be using Barge Cement Super Stick. There's not a single way of regluing your shoes. There's so many different ways to reglue your shoes depending on the situation and how much separation there is, what kind of material, this, that, and the third. So if you guys want to get better at regluing, join my Patreon at patreon.com/JohnManalo. So for $20 a month, you can get 10 years of me fucking up and learning from my own mistakes. And you can cancel anytime you want. So for this reglue method, I will be regluing the toe cap first, then the heel, and lastly the sides. After applying the glue, I will let it chill for about 2 hours before I can bond them again. And to bond them again, I will reheat them to activate the adhesive with a blow dryer. A heat gun will be too hot for this process, so a blow dryer is perfect for this application. It's also important to have a thermometer gun to see what temperature your adhesive is, because I've learned 130 degrees is the sweet spot for regluing. Too cold, it's not gonna do anything, and too hot, it'll act like a liquid and won't bond properly. So there's a sweet spot for this, and you want to make sure it's at 130 degrees. I've been watching Avatar since it came out in 2006, and I'm so glad it came out on Netflix. Please don't even get me started about the movie. What the heck was M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong thinking? Ong? For real? Well, anyways, I actually tried to use a Cricut machine to cut little tiny squares on the netting, but it turned out to be too difficult, so I just scrapped that idea because I wanted to cover up the green fabric so I can airbrush the rubber parts. But right now I'm actually photoshopping the Duckman so I can get an exact dimension, so when I airbrush the rear, I'll minimize the amount of paint that I'll get on the green fabric. And shout out to Dunks Are Nice for teaching me how to Photoshop and do this part. He should change his name to Photoshops Are Nice. The crazy part is the Duckman on the left shoe is stitched differently than the Duckman on the right shoe. You can see that the foot's a little skinnier, the bill is a little bit bigger. I don't know why, but so yeah, I just had to do it manually. And I'm just gonna carefully line it up as best as I can, and then I could start prepping the leather for a repaint. So I'm just gonna tape up the areas I don't want my airbrush to get on and just remove any extra tape with an X-Acto knife. So to hold it down even more, I'm actually going to use magnets just so I can have the corners not peel up. This will help a little bit. So to address all of the scuffs on the shoes, my sandpaper sequence will be from 800 grit all the way to 2000 grit, depending on how bad the scuff is. But I usually just start off with 800 grit all the time. And you want to make sure to avoid making contact with the stitching so it doesn't get frayed. So I'm going to sandpaper all of the leather, but I'm going to focus on the scuffs more so, just so it'll smooth out. And you want to sandpaper all of the leather that you're going to paint on just so your paint will adhere better. So I'm going to start using acetone and cotton balls to prep the leather and begin the repaint. For the severe scuffs, I will be filling in the cracks and sanding them down. So this leather damage is starting to look a whole lot better. I will be giving it a little bit more TLC just to make sure that it's not as bad as before. For filling in the holes and fixing leather cracking, a hand brush is a better application than an airbrush. So I'm using 2000 grit sandpaper to remove any lint that might have been stuck on the leather. And you don't want any lint on your finished product, so I'm just using the finest grit sandpaper, and it'll lift the lint but not lift the repaint. And I'm just going to add speckles to the back tab with my custom paint mix that I've matched with the heel. If you make a mistake on your speckling, over here the blobs are a little too big, and I'm like, what the f? So what I did was I took a wet cotton ball with just water, and I just wiped it away. Easy as that. I let it dry for a little bit and continued putting speckles on the heel. So for the areas that I did miss, I will be using a hand brush just to touch up the inside of the O. If your netting has white fabric and white rubber, you can just airbrush the whole thing white. But because the fabric is green, I didn't want any white paint on the green fabric, obviously. So I'm just using regular paint because in the future I will want to remove the paint because I do like the yellowing. But for this video, I will paint it white. For a stronger application, I recommend mixing your paint with adhesion promoter and a varnish just so it'll be more scratch resistant. Because remember, paint does not stick on rubber or plastic. So I don't know if you can see this, but I did remove the paint on the leather trim. So by using a Dremel tool, I removed the paint on the edge of the leather to make it more, I don't know, like I just don't like when you paint on shoes that it gets on the tip of the leather. So this makes it look more factory. It's just small details like this that your customers will appreciate your work because you're going the extra step to make it look more factory. And if you're doing this as a business, you could charge more. So the last step in this restoration is to restitch the toe cap. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give this video a like and comment what you think. And subscribe while you guys are on lockdown, because with this current thing going on, y'all have nothing better to watch. Just like my Raging Bull 5 video, I want to give these shoes away to a very lucky subscriber, so make sure to subscribe and comment down below your shoe size. I will only give these shoes away if they match your shoe size. So in order for me to contact you, make sure to drop your Instagram or your email if you don't have an Instagram. Good luck, take care, and God bless. Yee!